father always used to say I had wanderer's legs. We all wonder, what's out there? But for me, it was more than that. A stranger in my own world, I set out to find my path. Through all my travels, through all the trials of the unknown, I came to realize that there was really only one thing I'd been looking for. A place to call home.
Out here, you've got your crew and your ship. And the only thing that matters is getting the job done. This is your workshop, your playground, your command center. This is your multi-operator laser extractor. Argo Astronautics, building your future.
Your targets will never know what hit them. The ballista from Anvil. Rise above.
Area 18. 2949. Things were changing. You could feel it. And it was Gatsby, the center of it all.
How do you get on Gatsby's list?
Gatsby's it.
The name on everybody's lips. You never knew where Gatsby might head off to next, but that was half the fun. No one dared sleep for fear of missing something incredible. In Gatsby's world, nothing was off limits. Unless you were trying to crash the party. No matter where Gatsby may be off to next, whatever mysterious port of call she's heading to, the next time I see her, won't be soon enough.
Take you on a stoplight, head over heels. You and I will fall again, and then through the magic of moonlight, hand in hand, we'll forget about the world and fly from the clouds. Just you holding me tight. For a time we'll fly so high.
You sure this is the right place?
Mus has never steered us wrong before.
All right, good enough for me.
The mantis is one of nature's most adept predators. Its patience immeasurable. Its focus indomitable. It waits silently for its prey. The adroit hunter positions itself for attack, identifying its unsuspecting target when it's most vulnerable. And then, steeled to the task at hand, the mantis strikes. Its prey never stood a chance.
We understand the allure of the light. We hear the call of the dark. Our legacy is one of precision in design, of balance and inescapable duality. The push and pull of seemingly opposing forces working in concert to create a consonant equilibrium. The Archimedes and the Merlin. Duality of design. Kruger, precision, perfected.
It's been a big couple of years for the quote-unquote sexiest shipmaker in the verse. Even as seemingly every ship manufacturer and their mum tries dipping their respective toes in the hot tub of luxury, Origin Jumpworks is not to be outdone and maybe more accessible than ever, heading into 2950. I know, you're going to say, but Jax, I'm just not an Origin person. And are there plenty of complaints? Of course. But take the 600i. It's a totally viable exploration ship, but with so much to explore on the inside, you might never make it out of the bar. And speaking of loaded, the new 300 series can be tricked out with more bells, whistles and trim options than a Banu marketplace after everyone's eaten their nutrient bars. But before you write it off as more posh posturing for well-to-do shipophiles, I for one appreciate a little variety. After all, when you're stuck in Area 18 traffic, there's only so much silver and white you can look at without going a bit mad. And although it may be easy to poke fun at Origin, I can't deny that the ships are fun as hell to fly. And even if you aren't flying an Origin ship, simply being on one is an experience all of its own. So Origin would like you to meet the 890 Jump. The crown jewel in their fleet has been wowing expo goers all week long, providing a taste of the pure, uncut VIP experience. With an onboard pool, spa, cocktail lounge, commercial-grade galley, dining hall, and a whole slew of ultra-luxe accommodations, IAE attendees can finally experience, if even for a moment, what it's like to be super, mega, buy a planet and never go there rich. And take it from me, it's pretty great. Jimmy, champagne. And there you have it, folks. We've seen all there is to see at the Intergalactic Aerospace Exposition. We laughed, we cried, we caused a moderate amount of property damage. I'd like to thank the entire staff here at the IAE for not kicking us out on day one. I'd like to thank my producer Jimmy for deftly persuading the IAE staff to not kick us out on day one. And of course, I'd like to thank all of you lovely creatures for watching. This is Jax McCleary saying, see you next time on Whitley's Guide. All right, who drank the last bottle of champagne? Really? Pure speed. Every year, it feels like the offerings here at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo get faster. Or maybe I'm just getting slower. Probably a little of both. Anyhow, I'm sitting here in a Kruger Archimedes. It may be a snub craft, but when you top out at 1,340 meters per second, well, no quantum drive, no problem. Jimmy is currently queuing up to purchase a presumably delightful frozen dessert down in the expo hall. Personally, I'm an Irma's farm man. Now, if this little minx is as speedy as they say she is,
I should be able to get to the Irma's in Area 7, procure a tasty treat, and make it back both before it melts and before Jimmy gets through that massive line.
Thanks, Wendy. Close, but no cigar, Jimmy. Hats off, Kruger. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to hunker down and determine which of these desserts is the true champion of this segment. So stick around for more Whitley's Guide.
Behold the majesty of the Anvil Pisces. A paragon of exploration, the Pisces features a dedicated scanner, convertible cabin space, and best of all, it's designed to fit snugly within the hangar of Anvil's perennial Carrack. This one, however,
Fits in the palm of my hand. I'm Jax McCleary, and this is Whitley's Guide. For our premiere episode, we're here at the 2949 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, or more precisely, above it. And this is in fact not an Anvil Pisces, but a true-scale remote-controlled replica. It's accurate down to the last detail, and I've been told it's very expensive. So, naturally, we're going to attempt to blow it up, because we're borderline obsessively committed to putting the galaxy's best gear to the test. For you. To that end, behind me you might have noticed the rather intimidating 2949 Anvil Ballista. We're about to put this mobile missile machine through the Whitley's ringer. The aim, so to speak, is to see if it really can take out our tiny target, even as I pilot it, Jimmy, the stick please, through daring evasive maneuvers.
The missile we're launching is, of course, a dummy round with a diminutive explosive charge capable of taking out our tiny Pisces, but not much else. At least, that's what I've been told, and I hope it's accurate, lest the next landing zone over gets a very unfortunate surprise.
Apologies in advance, Area 17. All right then, away we go. Well, will you look at that? It worked! And if that's not pinpoint targeting, I don't know what is. Colour me impressed, Anvil. And that's just the tip of the nose cone. There's a lot more to see here at the IAE. Ships to fly, new tech to test out, and presumably more objects to obliterate in the pursuit of consumer awareness. Plus, we should probably get off this roof before that guy in the vendor hall realises we borrowed one of his super expensive remote control ships.
Wait, what?
Don't you dare go anywhere. Whitley's Guide returns after these messages. Roberts Space Industries. 3 little words that say volumes. The manufacturer that set the original standard for spaceflight continues to defy its age and stay relevant in the modern era. From the Origin-style bells and whistles gussying up the Constellation Phoenix to the more traditionally utilitarian Connie model and the exhaustive Aurora series, RSI offers plenty of reliable options for green pilots and crusty old pros alike. And of course there's RSI's more aggressive side, exemplified by this lean, mean interdiction machine. Behold, the Mantis. A perennial favourite of law enforcement agencies and the scourge of space scum everywhere. That little doohickey in the front there? That's a state-of-the-art WATEC quantum enforcement device, or QED, and where the Mantis gets its bite.
this little beauty can rip a ship out of quantum with ridiculous precision, a privilege that has previously been restricted to responsible and qualified pilots. So what do you say we test her out? Roomier in here than I expected. But a spacious cockpit isn't why the Mantis has the hearts of law and ordery types aflutter. Let's get down to business and see if this thing does what it says in the brochure. Now, Jimmy is in a trusty Aurora around the other side of the planet. I'm going to fire up the QED, and when I give the signal, Jimmy is going to attempt to QT right past us. Here we go. That was insane! You know, I honestly don't understand why advocacy agents seem so stuffy all the time. If my job entailed snaring ships out of QT, I'd be happy as a clam. Although, I suppose today my job does entail that and I don't have to deal with any violent criminals. Just Jimmy. So, win-win, I suppose. Stick around for more from the IAE and Whitley's Guide. While mind-bending velocity and nausea-inducing G-forces certainly have their charms, not everything at the IAE is about blinding speed and sexy silhouettes. The titans of industrial aerospace are all here, flexing their muscles. Take MISC. Their Freelancer series are perennial favourites of independent haulers, thanks to their famously ample cargo capacity and relatively small size. And with 4 discrete models to choose from, there's a Freelancer flavour for nearly every taste, whether you fancy auxiliary fuel tanks or a heaping helping of missiles. But MISC isn't the only industrially inclined contributor to this year's exposition. Argo Astronautics, for one, are not content to rest on their utilitarian laurels. We're here at a super-secret off-site location that definitely isn't an Argo production facility to get a first look at their 2949 Mole multi-crew mining machine. It's not only a paragon of alliteration, but is being touted as an excavation revelation, with a more user-friendly control interface and sport-inspired stuff. Good news for all you aspiring diggers out there. Releasing in just a few weeks, you'll get to see firsthand the bonding experience that is simultaneous mining, just like Jimmy and me. Next on Whitley's Guide, we behold the inscrutable curiosities of the Exotics Pavilion and the IAE Food Court. Don't go anywhere. Under the watch of hotshot wunderkind CEO Andon Arden, Drake Interplanetary has attempted to pull themselves out of the quagmire of controversy. If you ask me, they continue to turn out the same scrappy, dependable stuff while attempting to song and dance a white hat onto their admittedly tarnished image. But at the end of the day, you can't argue with results. That said, Drake claims that they no longer willingly sell their product to reprobates and nefarious Nellies. I'm about to go undercover, thank you Jimmy, to find out if Drake's people are really towing the line or if they are beholden to the almighty credit.
Here on Whitley's Guide, we aren't afraid to tackle serious issues. Come on, how many civilian ships do you think this thing can take down without rearming? 10? 15? You say credit ships? Oh, sorry, there's blood on those. You know, I'm a personal acquaintance of Jan Dredge. Too soon? Yeah, that's way too soon. So, between you and me, roughly how many human-sized slaves do you think we could fit in this cargo hold?
Securing! Coming up, we put on our fanciest pants and then sully them with caviar and champagne as we bask in the uncut opulence of Origin Jumpworks. Welcome to the Exotics Pavilion, where aerospace xenophiles can scratch their wildest alien itches. Even this year's IAE food court is embracing the esoteric offerings of our non-human brethren. Take this. What is it again, Jimmy?
They said it was pickled corpse bug.
All right. Pickled corpse bug. Well, down the hatch. Let's go take a look. Every year, the exotic offerings on hand at the IAE get more robust, and 2949 looks to be no exception. From Esperia's chillingly accurate Vandul recreations to Apoa's aggressive pursuit of the human market through an expanding line of ships adapted from Xi'an military designs. Even the Banu adapted their stout defender fighter for human flight back in 2947. Both the ship and its related marketing efforts have come a long way in just a few years. I mean, has anyone seen their early attempts at an advert? Jimmy, do we have a clip? Well, I don't know much about advertising, but now that I see it again, I have to say I sort of miss that authentic Banu charm. After the break, we head to the Aegis Dynamics Pavilion. Stick around. Now, I've been to every IAE in recent memory, and year after year it remains a thrill to traipse amongst the multitudinous warbirds of Aegis Dynamics. From the classic Gladius to the Protean Avenger, Aegis has been at this a long time, and their fleet is celebrated to this day. The Vanguard series remains an industry standard in long-range fighters. The 2949 models sport vintage-inspired throwbacky exteriors, improved and expanded interior cabins, and of course, a lot of weapons. And if huge ballistic repeaters and a plethora of missiles aren't enough, you can always drop a few of these big nasties via the Nautilus mine layer, celebrating 400 years of service this year. To drive the point home, they've been trotting out these decommissioned proximity charge mines, which I'm told are completely safe. But what do you say we find out just how confident Aegis is about their prop here? Thank you, Jimmy. For science! Next on Whitley's Guide, we parley with the salty dogs at the Drake Interplanetary Pavilion. Cutlass, I don't even know the lass. Yah!